Hey everybody, I'm Captain Zeus and welcome to the channel. We got a movie review for you guys, another one, and this one's going to be about Black Widow. Now, spoiler warning for anyone that has not seen the movie. Now, I do apologize as well for not posting. I got sick, some stuff happened at home, so it's been a minute since I posted, obviously, but I'll try to post some more. But anyways, we'll go back and go ahead and do this movie review. Now, to start things off, we're going to go with the pros of the movie that I did like. Now, I did like the action sequences. They were entertaining. The choreography wasn't that great, but they were entertaining to say the least. It's a Marvel movie. Action's always going to be there. It's going to be great. The humor in the movie, freaking funny. There was a lot of funny stuff about the movie. Red Guardian, Yelena, both cracked me up throughout the whole movie. Great characters. And speaking of the new characters, Yelena, Red Guardian, there were great additions to the movie. And I thought that they really honestly held the movie together in places that were lacking. They did do pretty good character development with them as well. Left some things up in the air for like questions such as like who Red Guardian was fighting, because it wasn't Captain America because he was in ice, so obviously there's another Captain America around, so that's some nice things to have out there. They add Yelena, or I'm sorry, not Yelena, Valentine at the end credit scene. That was a nice addition, kind of connecting some dots, pulling threads together. That was pretty cool. Let's see what else. I think that's really about it. Yeah, those are really the only good things I found about the movie. Now, the things I didn't like, oh my gosh. Sit back. It's going to be a minute. The CGI in this movie was absolutely ridiculous. It was way too much. Just like in the Spider-Man movies, they use CGI way too much, and it was noticeable at a lot of points in the movie. Taskmaster was another one that I just was ridiculous. First of all, Taskmaster is a dude in the comics who has photographic memory. You know, he's a freaking amazing, assassin, hitman, whatever you want to call him. And he's a huge threat to the Avengers. Not to, like, Black Widow, to the Avengers. Not to say he's not a threat to Black Widow. I mean, you know what I mean. But then they just completely ruin the character by making the Taskmaster not have photographic memory. It's just some kind of implant in them to have, because that's how they memorize things, okay? And then it's the daughter of the guy in charge of the Red Room, which I literally called it. You see a sequence in the beginning where she's like, "Oh, I killed his daughter. Oh no!" And I'm like, that's gonna be Taskmaster. I absolutely hate it, but that's who they're gonna have as Taskmaster because it's extremely cliche, and that's exactly what they did, and it was stupid as heck. It literally ruined the entire the freaking character of Taskmaster. Pissed me off. I wanted to see a character that was committed to the actual origin. Taskmaster is the brother of Crossbones. That would have been nice to have little, hey, I'm up against the heroes because they killed my brother. That would have been way better than a mindless drone who has no free will, just doing whatever. That was the main thing that really pissed me off. Character development as well. That wasn't that much for some characters. Like I mentioned earlier, Yelena and Red Guardian, there was some good character development with them. Even Melina, which is Black Widow's mom. But Black Widow herself, I mean, I wouldn't say character development. It's more of her character just was lacking. Like, Yelena really carried. I felt like she was a better character than Black Widow in her own movie. Yelena was funny. She had good action. I mean, there was a good connection to Yelena instead of Black Widow. It could have just been, it was probably just how the story was written. The story was not written very well. It was very cliche, freaking family. I kept making Dom references, like Fast and Furious references, because it started off great. It started off relatable. It's perfectly fine. Then it gets absolutely ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense. For example, there are so many car explosions that happened right underneath the vehicle they're in, came out unscathed. They're not super soldiers, so that shouldn't happen at all. I mean, if you have an explosion directly underneath you, you're going to come out with some damage. And then the vehicle's bouncing all over the place, goes down a freaking train tunnel, or is about to fall off a bridge, which somehow doesn't go into the water until later. Still come off not even unscathed. Like, it was the absolute most ridiculous thing ever. Like, they made it so that they would survive. Stupid. Just stupid. And the last thing that I really just didn't like, and really didn't make sense, was the story. The story had no purpose. There was no real purpose for the story being here. It was very poorly written. Thunderbolt Ross was there for no reason. He was there in the beginning chasing down Black Widow, and I'm like, okay, maybe he's going to have a bigger role. Maybe he's going to be hunting her throughout the whole thing. No, you don't ever see him throughout the rest of the movie. What was the purpose of him being there? You could have replaced him with any other character, still would have had the same effect. And the purpose of the story? Who knows? Like, it didn't have a place in the MCU. I don't know what they were trying to set up with it. It really didn't set anything up, except for Yelena, which is at the end credit scene. Like I mentioned earlier, there's Valentine. I don't know if she's trying to set up like the Dark Avengers or like the Thunderbolts or something, because she already has the U.S. agent, but now she's got Yelena. And that, I mean, that's nice. You're connecting characters together like that. And she's gonna, she might be in Hawkeye, because, end credit scene, there's the scene where she's like, this is the person that killed your sister, and it's Barton, which is completely false. We all know this. I mean, she literally killed herself. That was the whole point of the fight. So I'm like, with the Hawkeye series coming up, we might be able to see her in there. That'll be pretty cool. See some fight scenes between them. You do get a glimpse of like what happened in Budapest. I mean, it made sense, but it didn't make sense. It was pretty stupid. I mean, you honestly could have just left Budapest alone, let that be a mystery. That would have been pretty cool. Let speculation happen. But my gosh, the theme of the movie was family, I think. I mean, I'm unsure. The movie's purpose was absolutely bonkers. So there's a lot of, with the whole Dom family memes, like it fit perfectly with this movie, and it was absolutely ridiculous. Just like them flying into space because you can, do that in your car. Her surviving all of these explosions makes it, falling from the sky. Mind you, this building that falls from the sky and crashes, coincidentally, there's no other buildings around it. And even so, there's barely any damage to the ground underneath. This is a huge effing building that's falling down from the heavens and crashing to Earth, like. And all of these people just fall down and nothing happened. Like, another thing, Yelena freaking puts her staff into the copter's fan, and an explosion happens. Everyone inside the vehicle, inside the plane, dies. She doesn't even come out with an injury. She just flies back. Doesn't make sense. Like, there were so many things in this movie that just didn't make sense, that were absolutely stupid. Like, this movie shouldn't have been made at all. Like, I don't know what it is with Marvel and not being able to make a good movie with a female lead. Like Wonder Woman, great movie. Absolutely love it. Probably the best female lead superhero movie that I've seen. There's not that many out there. I mean, Wonder Woman 2 was trash, but that's another story for another day. Captain Marvel was probably the worst Marvel movie out there. And Black Widow it's right there. It's right there. It's the second worst, in my opinion, the second worst Marvel movie that is out. And Captain Marvel's the worst. I don't know what it is. Marvel just can't seem to write a good female-led movie. Don't know why. It's absolutely terrible. I give this movie a 2 out of 10, straight up. No. I'll be gentle. We're going to go with like a 3.5 out of 10. I think that's more reasonable. 3.5 out of 10. Because this movie was just terrible. But there were some good things about it. Like I said, the action was great. The humor was there. It was freaking... Yelena and Red Guardian were like my favorite characters in that movie. But they ruined Taskmaster. CGI was just absolutely terrible. There's so many sequences that just don't make sense, nor should they have survived. And this is coming from a superhero movie where half the things they shouldn't survive. But this was just to another... It was on a Fast and Furious ridiculousness level. And the story had no purpose at all. Except for the end credit scene. That was the only thing that had a purpose. I don't recommend this movie to anyone. Unless you want to just laugh. But even then, I still wouldn't recommend this. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching this movie review. I know it kind of bantered off, but this movie really pissed me off. I was very disappointed with all the promotion that they did for 2 years of the setbacks almost. Like, you would think that this movie would be somewhat decent. There's this one actor, I cannot remember his name, but he was saying he was embarrassed for Scarlett Johansson for this movie. And I was like, that's quite a statement. And I completely understand why he said that, because this movie was an embarrassment to her. Whatever reviewer said that this was the best Marvel movie ever literally must have been smoking crack. I kid you not. Like, this is nowhere near the best Marvel movie ever. At all. Just putting it out there. Anyone that says this movie was good is literally, they don't have good taste. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not really, but I'm sorry. Anyways, guys, go check out my other reviews. I got a review for Mortal Kombat, Without Remorse, MODOK, and I try to do some more movie reviews. If you guys like you know, my movie reviews, or you want to see me do other movies, just let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe as well. I'm going to try to post more. We're going to try to put more Blair Witch videos out there pretty soon, so keep out on that. But I hope you guys have a great day, and see you guys soon. See ya.